Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream for those that are here live, and for the replay video which will be on YouTube following this. Thank you for tuning in either way, do appreciate it. So we are at the Nurburgring today, the GP layout, for round number 2 of the Trophy Monster Porsche Cup. It says round 3 on the screen, but it's round 2 because of the way Spa happened. So thank you for joining us for that one. We'll just get the link shared out live and then we can get ourselves going. So Tanso. So this is where I just go quiet for a minute while I do this. We're live from the copy that at all, copy, so that's in Tanso. I'll put it in Carrington. One minute, I did get invited to this group not long back. There we go, Charlton Racing Team. Let's post it in there. Let's post it in Next Gen Racing. Let's post it in Mature Racing Club. Paste. Let's paste it in Discord. Let's keep going. Post it every single place I can see. When I can find it. Cliche. Live streams. I wish there was a way I could automate this, I really do, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to do that ever. Right, so a little bit of info before we get going. Yeah, that's that done. Okay. I'll just drop a little message to the guys on stream. Oh, I've got some comments, I'll come and have a look in just a second. Ghost Rider, good luck CRT boys. Evening Damo, Steffers, how you doing? Swoggy, I watched you on Tidgeney's thing last night, mate, well done. Alright Johnny, not too bad mate, not too bad at all. Thanks for dropping on by. Right. Good luck to you tonight as well. Yeah, so streaming a few minutes early purely for basically purely for something that's that the boys all wanted to do and get their head around. So I'll give that a little bit of an intro in just a second. So, a couple of the guys in here race for Charlton Racing Team, CRT. So, Carrington's one of them that you'll notice in the chat. The group lost someone recently, John Mcgee. Gran Turismo Sport players may well know him anyway because he had 5,000 followers on the game for his epic liveries. I had a good browse through them earlier on, and the guy was an artist. Swoggy, it's the Tanso Racing Group Porsche Cayman Cup. It is hosted by NGR Cutler that you can see there, but ran by Tanso Racing. If you want to get involved, mate, feel free. I think there is. I don't know if there's space. There might just be dropouts, but get involved, Swoggy, if you've got a Sunday night free, mate. The Jelly, Jenna, how are you doing? Cheers, I kept plebbing it all the time. Yeah, you did alright though, man. I mean, ERTW1's rapid, so you couldn't help that one. So yeah, there's going to be a little tribute tonight for John. The guys are going to do a bit of a parade lap, and there will be a minute of silence to observe as well. So NGR Cutler's going to put us a message in the chat in a minute just about how that's going to work. But we'll of course be observing that on stream. So let's have a look. So we've got 6 viewers in the chat, so that's good to have. So we're just waiting for Cutler to do his thing, so he's typing a message now. For anyone that's new to this and that doesn't know what this is, so this is the sponsored by Trophy Monster, the Porsche Cup. It's round number 2 at Nurburgring tonight. The format is a little 10-minute qualifying session followed by a 40-minute endurance race. The tyres and the fuel, if we just nap over to it, so they're set quite high, so the tyre wear is ×6 and the fuel is ×4, so the guys really have to contend with strategy. That does have a big impact on the outcome of the race. As we saw last week, Carrington got sent to the realm early doors, but recovered his race owing to good strategy. Cutler did the same as well. The guys are allowed to do let's just go on track actually. The guys are allowed to run any tyre they want, from the hard to the super soft, but they've got to play in mind with how their strategy will work. So let me just do a little so guys, just doing a little bit of a parade lap now. Led by Sean. So John himself, in his sort of late 60s, was a decorator by trade, a bit of a video game fanatic like most of us out there watching. Self-confessed wasn't the fastest racer, but sort of enjoyed it nonetheless, and himself a brilliant livery designer. In the last couple of years, John gave up work himself to look after his dad. Unfortunately, his dad passed away about a month before John did. Yeah, he had a ton of followers on here for his liveries that he did, so he's a very sorely missed character within the group and within the game as well. Another livery guy within the game, Paul Twig. Paul was one of his best friends. So thoughts are with everyone at the minute that's affected by the loss of John. So we'll just flick through the guys as they do this this sort of parade formation lap. And you see on the side of Cool Ride's car the PSN that John went under, Shriken 12. And you'll see little decals on the side of some of these guys' cars as well that are paying their own little tributes in their own little way. That's one thing I absolutely love about the sim racing community. Stuff like this happens, they all do come together and they're pretty good at it. The guys just coming towards the end of the parade lap now. This will be followed by a minute's silence, just as we all take time before the race to remember our friend John Mcgee, who we sadly lost recently. So as the lap comes to an end then, you see the guys just lining up to observe the silence that we'll be having shortly. And we'll just wait for the nod from Cutler, who will be taking the reins and getting this all organised. So thank you Tim for doing that. So this camera angle, just looking at the start finish straight, we can see all the cars lining up in groups of 3. We're just waiting for the nod from NGR Cutler to let us know when the silence has started. Silence will be for a minute, And just for that time, if you're in stream watching the review, just please take time to think about a friend we lost recently. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that, bearing with us. The guys just want to pay their respects. We'll shortly be going qualifying, so we'll have some action for you coming up, as we've sort of taken the reins off some of these guys now, and they're just getting the tyres back warmed up again. So thank you for that. On formation lap in silence to remember John Mcgee, Shrek in 12, as some of us may know him. Yeah, not too much to say other than that, really. A very well missed bloke, judging by all the comments I've read recently and everything that we've seen online. Well, just a big thank you, I guess, to everyone that's come together and organised it, paid their own little tribute. The sim racing guys are a great bunch when they get together with stuff like this. It's a very sad event. But they've come together, paid their little tribute, remembered him as they want to remember him, and they'll do what John will have wanted them to do and carry on racing and put a show on for us tonight, hopefully. So 15 minutes qualifying on its way for you. Qualifying also has its own little strategy as well, because you've got enough time in that 15 minutes to burn off a little bit of fuel, keep your tyres in the window, make your car as light as possible to put a flyer in right at the end, so you tend to see the early pace not get beaten straight away, and indeed the guys will time it so that they get one last fast lap in on minimal fuel right at the end. With that, don't know why Cutler's got his wipers on, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the race. So before we get underway with that, if you're watching this and you're not following yet, if you could follow, that'd be great. I'm trying to get myself to 50. We're at 32 right now. I only just started streaming on Twitch, so thank you to the guys that have followed me already. Chicken Benjwa, a new follower 2 hours ago. Oxen Hopper followed yesterday. Peter NL 0570 followed yesterday as well, so thank you guys very much for doing that while we were offline, appreciate it. So I think we are into qualifying mode. When I say this is qualifying mode, this is fuel burning. Yeah, it's just the way it is, mate, I'm afraid. So hot laps coming up for you now. I think we didn't have a track reset. There's probably no point, to be fair. We only did a parade lap. Alright, so hot laps coming up for you. So Cool Rides is going to be the first one to set us a time. Yes, Woggy, the drivers will just they'll have the same amount of, they'll have a full tank of fuel, the same fuel and tyre wear during qualifying. So it does come in, it does play into it. You do see some guys burning fuel off in quali, to get the car really light and agile by the end of the session, because these Porsches, they're not the easiest cars to get to grips with. They can be a little bit understeery. So we'll see what the early pace is going to be. Cool Rides is normally one of the guys that does mix it up near the top, so we'll see what sort of time he can plump in for us. Britsberger will be next to pass the line, so he sets a 1:59.3. Britsberger's going to set us a 1:59. Oh wait, 1 minute. Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. There we go, I need that sidebar. The Don Dotter, who has been plagued with terrible internet. A 1:59.5 for him on his first lap. Goes for own gaming. Made possibly the overtake of the week for me last week. A brilliant move on Britsberger down into T1 at topless. A 1:59.9 for him so far. Obi-Wan Kenobi, our winner last time out, on a 1:59.3. Let me just get something up that I'd grabbed. So yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi last week, and Cool Rides, who pretty much led the entire thing last week, only for his tyres to sort of give out towards the end, and Obi-Wan Kenobi grabbed him on pretty much the last corner. Please go back and watch that if you haven't already. That was a great race. Britsberger, 4th last time out, all topless, 1:59.4 for him, so he's 3rd on the grid so far. NGR Cutler on the podium last time out, 3rd, with a great one-stop strategy last time out. He'll be looking for a peak performance, 6th place on the grid for him so far with 2:01.1. Carrington also a one-stop maestro from last time out. Had a bit of a disastrous opening lap. Can't remember off the top of my head what happened. I do think he just got involved in someone else's accident, but he recovered well, put his strategy to good use, and got himself up to 5th place by the end of the race last time out. Richter continues, 7th place for him. He had a very eventful time out at topless. He'll be hoping for a bit more of a boring race this time out. Equally a good result as well. Scrabs, 9th last time out, 9th in quali so far with 2:10.0. He beat Pilgrim Paddy to the not last challenge last time out. Simo, no race for Simo last week. He is currently 10th in qualifying. Sean F, 8th last time out or topless, currently trying to get a bit of slipstream off Scrabs. And Pilgrim Paddy, he'll be looking to improve on his result from last time out. Yeah, respect Twiggy, that's what it's all about, mate. As long as there's no waiting for slipstream. No, wait, they don't tend to bother with that. Well, Pilgrim Paddy's gonna get a penalty for that, I feel. In the time we've been going by everyone, the Don Dotter has set the pole time at 1:58.7, a great lap by the Don Dotter. He certainly is, for me, and I'll say this with respect, he is the quickest guy in here. He just has the slowest internet, so he tends to get disconnected, so keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that has been resolved, and the Don Dotter can show us what he's made of. He currently leads qualifying by half a second to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has just improved it, just taken a 10th off his time, but he's starting to struggle with worn tyres now as we see Carrington get out of his way. Cool Rides on an outlap, he's just been in for fresh tyres, so he'll be looking to improve on his 59.3. Who else have we got? Ghost Home Gaming, qualified well last time out as well. He's just been into the pits, he's on his outlap. Nice and low on fuel as well for Ghost Home Gaming, so we'll see what he can put together this time out. Oh, these liveries are confusing me, they're all pretty much the same. Live timing then. So the Don Dotter did set a personal best set to 3, but it decided to come into the pits and get some fresh rubber instead. Kenobi, is he on a fast lap? No, he's not. He's 15 seconds down. I've got a feeling he'll be peeling off into the pits as well. Cool Rides just started a lap. What we'll do, actually, we'll nip on board with a driver that's about to start a hot lap. Carrington, he might be coming into the pits. Cutler though, is a driver that's just starting a lap, so as we come down the start-finish straight at the Nurburgring GP circuit, elevate your eyes to the left as the curb starts, you start braking. Down into second gear and try and catch the apex. Cutler just missed it there, that'll make him run a little bit wide. You don't need to brake for this, you just need to ease the foot around, try and hug that apex and let the car run out wide. Just before the AstroTurf ends, get yourself on the brakes and tuck in for a nice narrow apex. Try and get an early apex into the Mercedes-Benz Ariza and power your way down as you make a start into sector number 2. These next 2 corners, technically a chicane. Down a gear, just ease it round, get yourself back over to the left, cut back for the right-hander and try and use as much of the track on exit as you can. Down into the hairpin, this will be one of the most popular overtaking spots on the circuit. Again, as the curb starts, you get yourself on the brakes. A couple of different ways to take this. Cutler's preferring to take the wide line approach because of the way the camber works on that corner. You can really tuck into the apex if you want to. Through to the Schumacher S, a slight lift needed here to save yourself from going onto the gravel, but Cutler navigates that well. I don't know why he's got his wiper on still. Into the second to last chicane. Cutler just missing the apex again, that will cost him probably a tenth or so, but running this corner nicely, gets on the power nice and early does Cutler there, and he is up 0.04 of a second on his time. If he gets the chicane right, he can shave even more off that. You look for the 100-metre board on the right and you brake just before it here. You can run all 4 wheels on this curb if you really want to. It can unsettle the car as you've seen there, but if you can navigate that, you can shave a lot of lap time off. And down into the last corner, be careful not to hit the pit divider. And back on the power for a lap of Nurburgring GP. Cutler's going to set a 1:59.5. He takes 1.6 seconds off his time, puts himself all the way up to 5th on the grid, knocking Ghost Realm Gaming down to 6. Ghost Realm Gaming is on a lap, but he's 2.5 tenths down on his fastest time. The Don Dotter now on a lap as well after getting some fresh boots on the car. So we are nearing the end of qualifying now. So this is where we'll start to see the fast times come in if the guys are really starting to push. Lots of guys now on fast laps on fresh tyres, so we'll see how all that works through. Cool Ride's probably going to be the next person to set us a fast time. Simo goes through. Simo's on a 2:02.1. He's just starting a fast lap now. Rick to continue, 2:01.4 for Rick to continue, so he's put himself up to 9th with a good lap there. Scrabs 2:09.3 for him so far, so not the best showing for Scrabs. Where is Pilgrim Paddy? Pilgrim Paddy's had a great qualifying so far, I'll say that until he nails it massively off track. About 1:59.8 for Pilgrim Paddy. That's a great time, he's up into 7th place. Meanwhile the Don Dotter coming towards the end of another flying lap. Cool Rides is into the pits. Let's keep an eye on the Don Dotter then. He's already pole 1:58.7. Let's see if he can improve that. I'm drinking tea out of my Tanso Racing Group mug. So 1:58.7 to beat for the Don Dotter. And he takes 1.2 seconds off that with a 1:57.4. He now leads the field by a second and a half. Britsberger just starting a flying lap. He is on worn tyres though, so he might struggle. Cool Rides on and out. That might just squeeze another lap in. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's on a flyer, light on fuel as well. Let's see where Obi-Wan Kenobi goes. He's going to be the next one across the line. Kenobi's car's been in the wars a little bit. He's got to beat a 1:57.4. He sets a 1:57.7. That's a massively improved on his time there. He's just 3 tenths behind the Don Dotter, and that does put Britsberger down to the second row of the grid. Joining him is Cool Rides at the minute. Cool Rides just on an outlap after getting some fresh tyres, so maybe more to come from him yet. Ghost Realm Gaming's parked backwards on the track. That's not going to do you any favours. Carrington just set his fastest lap of a 1:59.6. That puts him in 6th so far. Pilgrim Paddy, as we said before, a great qualifying for him, 1:59.8. Simo's just improved as well. He's up to 8th with a 2:01.0. Sean F so far 2:01.5 for Sean, good enough for 9th place on the grid. Down to 10th actually now, just as someone pips him ahead. Who was that? I don't know who pipped him actually, not too sure. Scrabs 2:09.3 for him. Rick to continue in the pits. We don't know what's happening with Rick, but his times aren't that quick. He's 4 seconds off, so at the minute Rick probably lines up in like 10th. The Don Dotter though, is he going for another lap? No, it's a 1:57.8 for him. Obi-Wan Kenobi on a fast lap. Let's just have a little check of the live timing screen. Nobody on track is purple at the minute, and I mean by that, nobody is going faster than anyone else. Dark Smoker, I am alright mate, thank you for asking. Me and you need to talk and sort out this play seat, but it's taking up space in my cupboard. Obi-Wan Kenobi peels off into the pits. The Don Dotter repping the P1 boys, currently leading the charge. Might just try for another fast one, but he's half a second down on his best, so he's going to struggle on warm tyres to really do that. Rick hasn't practiced, that might explain it. So I think a couple of guys now just waiting for qualifying to finish. Cool Ride's just about to cross the timing screen. Cool Ride is improving. He is 5 tenths up on his best lap so far. So that puts him in the mid 1:57s. That probably would be good enough to stick him in second place if his pace continues. Send your money on address. Yeah, I need to figure out about couriering it, Smoker. I haven't got out to box it in. That's my issue at the minute. Not gonna lie, mate, I'm half tempted to drive it down to you. It's probably going to be easier than paying DPD to do it. We shall see. I might end up doing that, Smoker. I'm off work anyway. It might be easier just to come and have a drive down. I'll sort it out. We'll talk. So, Cool Rides then. He is poised to put himself up with the Don Dotter. Can he do it? Can he get himself up there? He can get himself into third with a 1:58.3. He just lost a little bit of time in that last sector. For the time being, Obi-Wan Kenobi does line up alongside the Don Dotter. The Don Dotter himself is pretty much given up on improving his qualifying time. Probably doesn't need to. And that's pretty much qualifying done, ladies and gentlemen. Now I think we're just waiting for Cutler to announce race is beginning. And your lineup for this one is the Don Dotter on pole. I hope and pray his internet is working correctly. Obi-Wan Kenobi lines up second place alongside him. It's a good long run down to turn 1, and it's a prime overtaking spot as well. So if anyone gets a good start, then they can make a move. Niles, how you doing, mate? I'm good, mate. Good. Thanks for jumping on in, mate. You're just about to catch the start of the Tanso Racing Group Porsche Cayman Cup, sponsored by Trophy Monster. This is round number 2 live from the Nurburgring. We've got a 40-minute race ahead of you. With some good convincing tyre multipliers on as well, so it proves to be a strategically interesting one. So everyone needs a good start off the start line. Then these Porsches don't always get away well. The Don Dotter bogged down a little bit. That's going to give Obi-Wan Kenobi the jump into the lead straight away. The Don Dotter's then going to come under threat from Britsberger. Britsberger does launch one down the inside. Looks like he was backing out of it then originally, but the space opened up as the Don Dotter went for a later apex. But the Don Dotter fights back valiantly and keeps second place. Cool Ride still in 4th, Cutler 5th for him. Goes from Gaming, starting to come under pressure from Carrington straight away. Carrington, who thinks better of flying on down the inside and instead just taking the normal line. 8th for Sean F so far. Rick to continue, 9th for him. He's had a blistering start. Jumped past a couple of cars. So as the come on, Johnny. Johnny's up to 7th. He's challenging for 6th so far. He's doing well down into the hairpin. Gosh on Gaming must be worried because he went defensive. S. This is a look back from Ghost Run Gaming's car as he navigates the Schumacher SS for the first time. You see both cars carrying roughly the same sort of pace through there. Ghost Run Gaming looking for a move on Cutler. Of course, we don't know at this stage what tyres everyone's on. Cutler might be trying to do a long stretch. Carrington goes for the move down the inside of Ghost Run Gaming, but oh, Cutler's just lost it on the edge. We might choose to go back and have a quick look at that. We're just going to see if Carrington can navigate his way past Ghost Run Gaming into the last chicane. And his wife got a cheer. Is that part of the contract? I promise to love, honour, obey and support. You never know. Anyway, as we were making... I'm good hunting, mate. I'm good hunting. Thanks for jumping on in. Carrington navigated his way up to 5th, so a great start for Carrington. It was a little bit bumpy getting past Ghost Run Gaming, but I think it was probably just on the edge of a legal move. Ghost Run Gaming flew down the inside of Sean, so he's kept 6th place. He can now work on getting that place back. It's getting very congested now. I'll go back on board the rear of Ghost Run Gaming's car. You can see Simo's getting involved in this, so is Pilgrim Paddy. Looking forward, the Don Dotter hasn't managed to get past Obi-Wan Kenobi just yet. So this is where we might start to see strategy sort of start to play into it now. As a retire, it's free-fall Swargy, so you can choose anything from a hard to a super soft racing tyre. The tyres are ×6, so for every lap, you know yourself, for every lap they degrade 6 times. So if you go on the super softs, mate, don't expect your stint to last very long. You tend to see in this race a lot of drivers will go for either an aggressive strategy where they'll stick on the softs or super softs and just try and go as quickly as possible, or you get some people that will just try and squeeze a one stop out with some mediums or something like that. So it does mix it up. It tends to all sort of crescendo together right at the end. It's really interesting how it all works. But yeah, it's pretty decent. Something like that. Well, you know, you're married in some way, so what else can you expect? Cutler then after that off, which we'll just pop back and have a quick look at. Cutler was defending to Ghost Run Gaming. Did have to take a narrow line into the second to last chicane, and that probably cut him a little bit deep here. Eagerness to get on the power. Yeah, it's just the car's just lost its back end, and unfortunately that's placed it right at the back of the grid. There has been some movement mid-pack. Who was that? Was that Carrington? No, Carrington's nowhere near anyone else. Might have been Pilgrim Paddy and Simo. Come on, Sean and Johnny. Johnny's doing well, mate. He's doing well. Sean in 9th at the minute. He's kind of in no man's land, but he's building a gap to Rick. So Rick, who hasn't practiced, so no practice Rick, is in 10th. He's building a gap to Scrabs, but he's getting trounced on by Sean up ahead. So hopefully Rick just gets in the flow of it. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan Kenobi a 2-second lead now to the Don Dotter. The Don Dotter has started to pull away from Britsburger a little bit. Britsburger and Cool Rides are embroiled in a little bit of a battle for 3rd currently. Carrington's 5 seconds back from that, has got Ghost Run Gaming for company. You can see these two may well be scrapping it out. We don't know what tyres they're on, of course. I might go and look in a second actually. His racing rig takes up my living room, so yeah, that's fine. Well, you know, it's a hobby. Mine mine takes up approximately 1/3 of my bedroom, so I can sympathise with you there, Steffers. But good on you for being supportive, being brutally honest. I hope he returns a favour with stuff that you like to do. That's all I can say. Meanwhile, the living room racer that is Carrington is coming under pressure from Ghost Run Gaming for that 5th place. This is stopping these guys catching the guys ahead, so they either need to settle the differences now or work together, because they risk losing that top 4 pack if they carry on fighting. If he knows you're already distracted. Yeah, if he didn't do the pots, you just kick him in the back of the chair while he's racing.
They'll teach you to move up next time, won't it?
Never mind. So the Don Dot is slightly catching Canody, but not at a fascinating rate. Coolride and Britsburg are still pretty close together. Ghost Rom and Carrington, I think these two now, if I were one of these two, if I were Carrington or Ghost Rom, I'd just be tempted just to work together for a little bit. It's early days, there's half an hour left in this race. If you spend the entire lot of it battling, it's only going to hurt your time. I just work together. Simple as, because you've got Pilgrim, Paddy, Simo, Sean, everyone else. And we know Cutler now, who's lagged a little bit there, we know Cutler's going to put some audacious strategy in play to bring himself back into the groove, so watch out for it. So it looks like we might have reached the point in the race where things settle down a little bit. We can probably focus on this battle for 5th. This is where the action is at the minute. Carrington and Ghost Ram Gaming. They do seem to still be knocking each other's heads off a little bit. Let's just run on board with Carrington for just a second actually and just see how he navigates this one. You can see the big trophy monster logo on the front of Carrington's car there. Trophy monster of course getting behind this, giving prizes for the top 3. If you're after a trophy for any event, get in touch with them. You would support them as a customer if you need a trophy.
Not allowed to say or do anything until I was racing, he needs all his concentration. Fair enough, fair enough.
Carrington then with a good run out there and he just throws up the inside, gets on the brakes a little bit late though. Ghost Ram Gaming tries to cut it back. I might go back and have another look at that. That looks to have affected Ghost Ram Gaming way more than it has Carrington though. Let's just go cut back and have a little bit of a look at what happened there. So this is from the roof of Ghost Ram Gaming's car, and that's a lovely logo you got on the front of your car there, mate. So he stays on the outside, yeah, Carrington goes very late. Yeah, 6 of one, half does the other. Ghost Ram Gaming obviously just slows down and lets Carrington go ahead. So the sportsman-like behaviour coming out, and I'd expect nothing less. So that might give Carrington the breathing space he needs, because he's lost 3 seconds to Coolride's in that battle. So Carrington can now get on with chasing down the top pack or just deploying his strategy. So we'll see how Carrington does with that through the race. As for Ghost Ram Gaming, he's found himself down in 9th after that contact. Obviously felt he was liable for it, so he slowed himself down before the last corner, and that did allow Pilgrim, Paddy and Simo to get himself past. Oh, Carrington's down into 9th. What's happened there? So Carrington's had an awful corner. What's happened to him? Let's see if the replay camera catches it. Oh, he takes his Porsche off-roading. And I can guarantee you that they don't like to do that. So unfortunately then for Carrington, that does place him down into 9th, but just behind his CRT teammate Sean F. Sean is having a decent outing so far, nice and consistent for him so far really in the race. Lovely sort of, it's almost a matte black and green livery there that Sean's rocking, like a Monster Energy type thing. Looking very nice. Sean F now in sight of 7th place, who is just 2 and a bit seconds up the road. The leader is already in the pits. So the leader running the super soft tyres early on in the stint, so he went really aggressive, and that might explain his early pace. Coolride did the same thing, so both the leaders, so Coolride and Obi-Wan Kenobi went really aggressive on the start stint. Let us now flick on some tyre graphics. So yeah, you might see some aggressive strategies coming out. Kenobi's gone back onto a set of super soft tyres. Doesn't look to have taken any fuel on in that stint. Coolride has done exactly the same thing. Britsburg is running the softs, and the tyre graphics telling us that they are destroyed. Meanwhile the Dom Dotter also on the softs, he's taking really good care of his tyres. Massaging them slowly through the corners, and 10 minutes into the race he's looking in good shape so far for a nice 2-stop. Simo's just got himself, oh, there's been a big accident back here. Let's go back and see what happened. We'll just wait until it's the carnage is resolved. That's like Carrington back through. Simo and Ghost Ram Gaming were involved in that one. Simo has got some damage. Ghost Ram Gaming's got some damage as well. Rick Continue's got involved in that. Is the damage to Ghost Run Gaming's Porsche going to be enough for him to continue? Yes, it is. Let's just have a look back at that and see what happened. So we'll just jump on board. In fact, no, we won't. We'll take this angle, it's a bit better. So Ghost Run Gaming did give Simo a little bit of a nudge as he got himself through. He then ran wide, got a bit of a tank slapper on and just caught Simo there. So Ghost Run Gaming just getting a tank slapper innocently enough. The weight on these Porsches is pretty much all at the back. So you've got to be pretty careful. And unfortunately that caused quite a bit of damage to him and Simo. We see the Don Dotter now into the pits. As he peels on in, let's kind of let Obi-Wan Kenobi resume the lead of the race, I assume. Is Britsberger going to jump him? I think he will do. Britsberger having not yet stopped. Corraz comes out of the pits. There's the Don Dotter emerging in front of us now. So the Don Dotter does come back out in third. And he now has some fresh rubber on. Maybe took a little bit of fuel on as well to enable him to go a bit long in his second stint. So Britsberger, second place for him at the minute. Don't forget he's not yet pitted. He may be deploying a very different strategy to the guys behind him. The Don Dotter on cold tyres just runs a little bit wide coming out of the Mercedes-Benz arena. And Cutler, who is the tyre maestro, finds himself up in 6 after a lot of cars have accidents, etc. in front of him. Simo, who, don't forget, was involved in that incident, I will say innocently, earlier on in the lap. 5th place for him right this minute in time. Carrington has been into the pits for some fresh boots. He'll be now hoping for better luck in the coming stage of the race. He's going for a fast stint. He's on. Oh, 1 minute. Let me just do a refresh on this. If you spoke in the chat, I won't see it because my Twitch has just frozen. Yeah, so Carrington's pitted. A lot of guys ahead of him haven't yet pitted. Pilgrim Paddy has. Cutler hasn't. Simo hasn't. So Carrington will jump himself up a few places when these guys do eventually pit. At the minute, Simo's proven to be a bit of a cork in a bottle. Cutler's been struggling to get past him, even on fresh tyres. Even on better conditioned tyres. Pilgrim Paddy behind on really fresh tyres. He's just getting held up. That has allowed Carrington to close up behind them. Carrington's got a really good view of the ensuing chaos now. We're going to have 4 cars almost at the same time going into the last chicane. Carrington nice and early on there. Simo goes for the shortcut across the grass. I don't know what happened there. But that automatically that resets you about, say, a year back. So Simo's getting himself going again. He peels off into the pits. I have a feeling he just outbrakes himself there. Definitely cost him more time than he gained. Rick to continue also peels off into the pits after 15 minutes. Ghost Run Gaming, he's had a bit of a torrid race so far. He's been into the pits now for some fresh tyres. So the Don Dotter somewhere has dropped behind Cool Rides quite a lot. He had a 2:07 lap. So we missed it, but the Don Dotter must have had some sort of incident because he's now down into 3rd, being chased by Britsberger, who has now pitted and is on fresh tyres. So pretty much everyone now being in the pits apart from Cutler and Sean. So these guys looking to go long into their stints, currently running into 7th and 8th place. So 11 people watching this. If you're watching it, come and get involved in the chat. Let's have a chat while this is going on. Who are you supporting? What are your predictions for the race? Talk to me. Alright, so currently, as the race stands, our leader is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Won last time out at Autopolis. And currently 11.5 seconds clear at the top here at the Nurburgring. Following him behind is Cool Rides. Maybe 7 seconds clear of the Don Dotter. You reckon the Porsche will win? I won't want to take that bet. No predictions because I seem to jinx it. I'm the one who does the commentator's curse. I predicted the Don Dotto would have a blisterer, but he had a 2:07 lap on lap 7, so God knows what happened to him. Oh damn it! I've left my water somewhere. I've left it downstairs. No, I've left it over there. 1 second. I'm just gonna leave you on Britsburger while I go and retrieve my water. So I'm nowhere near my controls at the minute, but my headset is portable, so I can still talk to you and give you some lovely soothing voice. Oh, in fact, I can use this. So Pilgrim Paddy then finds himself in 5th after good consistency and seemingly spot on strategy. He's been chased down by Carrington at the minute. Looks like Cutler has pitted. Would love a podium from the CRT boys. Well, they're 6th and 7th at the minute, and we've had a few incidents, so let's not rule it out. We're not at the halfway point yet. Carrington's shown he can really pull off a strategy, so he's probably got a plan up his sleeve for this one. Sean F is in 7th at the minute, has not yet pitted though. So we'll see what happens to him when he does pit. Cutler, he has now pitted. He pulled the trigger. So 8th for Cutler after pit stop number 1. I think he's switched his strategy up and he's going for a fast stint now. Another person on a fast stint is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Another 1:58 lap for him, so he's really on the pace. Just able to run his own game plan out in front. Cool Rides, another one that's on the pace. His pace has dropped off slightly. That was a 2-minute lap. Has allowed the Don Dotto to close up just a little bit on him behind. The Don Dotto's lapping in the 57s now. So he's closing in on Cool Rides. Come on, Johnny, send it. Well, we'll have a look and see if he manages to get that done down into turn 1. He's a little bit far back for me here. Pilgrim Paddy would have to epically mess this one up for Carrington to jump down the inside. He doesn't do that, but he gets on the brakes nicely. But Pilgrim Paddy just gets a lovely drive out of T1. It does go a little bit deep into turn number 2. You see Carrington's looking for a way, but I think Pilgrim Paddy's tyres, no, they're about the same. They're about the same. Anything going on track. So this is a bit now where most people have pitted and it's stretched out just a little bit. There's little gaps between all the cars. What we saw last week, this happened, and then right at the end of the race everyone's strategies sort of pulled together, and you saw the people that had really pulled it off and those that had probably just let the race get to them too much. At the minute, Obi-Wan Kenobi 14, nearly 15 seconds lead to 2nd place, and looks like he's going to come into the pits. Cool Rides is looking like he's going to need a pit stop as well. The Don Dotto can probably carry on for a little bit if he wants to. We'll see what he chooses to do. But the 2 guys ahead are going to have to pit, take on tyres and fuel. So the Don Dotto is going to carry on, potentially assume the lead of the race. Let's just see what he can see if Kenobi comes out ahead of him. Just keep an eye on the pit exit. Kenobi is out of his box, coming out there he is. So the Don Dotto then does come out just 1.5 seconds behind him. So definitely within range to start an attack, but Kenobi's going to have really fresh tyres now. So we'll see if the Don Dotto's pace improves up. Kenobi's going to have to get those tyres up to temperature quickly, because the Don Dotto's going to be smelling blood at this stage. Cool Rides comes back out in 4th. So Britsburger did jump him in the pits, but Britsburger we do know needs to pit again. Carrington and Ghost on Gaming pit as well. Both guys taking on tyres and fuel. So they come out. So Carrington still comes out in 7th place. He's a good 10 seconds behind Cutler. Also, Carrington's really going to go long now. So he's potentially going to try and get himself to the end of the race. So Carrington's strategy now is help everyone ahead of him has an awful time on old crappy tyres. Cutler's someone we know that can massage his tyres with love. He's in 6th at the minute. Just he pitted. When did he pit? A couple of laps ago. So we do know he's going to need fuel. So we'll see what he does for his last stint. Pilgrim Paddy's not too far away from needing a pit stop, but he's having a brilliant race as Pilgrim Paddy. Really solid performance from him this time round. 5th place so far, 5.5 seconds behind Cool White. Let's see if the Don Dotter, so the Don Dotter and Canody, if anything, Canody's pulled a little bit of a gap on the Don Dotter. Yeah, so I think the Don Dotter now just outside the slipstream range as well. Those older soft compound tyres will be starting to lose their edge by now. Yeah, there's little gaps between everyone on track. Goes from Gaming though. He's just pitted, so I think Goes from Gaming is going to try and get himself going long as well now. So similar strategy for Carrington. Goes from Gaming is trying to employ the same sort of tactic. So we'll see how that works for him. Scrabs at the minute, 12th place, over a minute behind the leaders. We'll see how his race unfolds, but he's been consistent in his times, so we'll see how he works that one out. Don Dotter only falling further behind Canody now. Obi-Wan Canody's really having a brilliant outing today at the Nurburgring. He's absolutely finessing that Porsche around this track. And just pulling time on everyone else. Doesn't hold the fastest lap of the race. That does belong to the Don Dotter. He's set a 1:57.6 in the race on lap number 8. So he's currently holding the fastest lap position. We're just approaching the 15 minutes to go mark. We've got a couple more pit stops coming up for you soon by the looks of it. One of them may well be Cutler's, who is due to come in at the end of this lap, looking at his fuel. Carrington should get the jump on him. And Pilgrim Paddy's not too far away from needing a stop as well. His time's just starting to drop off now as those tyres age, lose their grip. As you can see there, he's just having to take to the escape road because the tyres don't have the same braking performance as he should have. Is he going to opt to come in the pits? No, he's going to carry on. Floyd went wide again there. Cutler just hammering those curbs. He is going to come into the pits. So Cutler's now going to come into the pits for enough fuel and tyres to get him to the end of the race. Obi-Wan Canody continuing his finessement, 4 seconds ahead at the top now. And the Don Dotter coming close to needing a pit stop. Britsberger not too far behind him, not too far away from a pit stop himself. So the top guys, the top 5 at least, look like they pretty much need to pit again. Obi-Wan Canody, does he? Probably all going to need to pit again. This is where, if Carrington and Cutler play their cards right, they could spring a surprise. So we believe both of these chaps to be going to the end of the race now. 15 minutes left to go. Should get us about another 7 laps ish. I'm going to use the word ish. I think those guys can massage those tyres that long, so we'll see how they get on. But indeed, these two could spring a surprise. If all the guys ahead have to pit, start losing time on old tyres, these guys with their newfound consistency can get something in. Come on, says Damo. Carrington's doing a good job. Let's check in on Sean, actually see how he's doing. Still holding 9th place, chasing down Simo. Does he have the pace? He does. He's running quicker laps than Simo at the minute. Potentially going to the end as well. Looking at his fuel, can he get that fuel to the end? Yeah, he maybe can. So I think Sean might be trying to get this one to the end as well. Sean though is being caught by Ghost Run Gaming. Ghost Run Gaming is running quicker lap times than Sean. Sean has been really consistent in his approach to it. He's now right on the back of Simo. Just 3.5 tenths the gap between the two. Simo's gearbox just sounds like he's having a few little issues there. Pilgrim Paddy pits from 6th. That was a mouthful. We're going to see Sean F potentially go for a move down into T1 here as he gets the slipstream from Simo. He's just run on board with a CRT driver. As he just gets a really nice exit from the last turn, then he's going to get full slipstream ability from the driver ahead. Simo may well have to think about going defensive down into here, because this is definitely territory where he can put one down the inside. Sean just nice, really good braking down into T1 there, but thinks better of a move on Simo, who defends it really well on the outside. So good racing between these two so far. Carrington up to 5th after Pilgrim Paddy's pit stop. Pilgrim Paddy's come out in 6th between Carrington and Cutler. Of course now looking to go to the end of the race. Carrington 30 seconds behind the guys ahead, but the good news for Carrington is most of them have to pit again. We think the Don Dotter might be safe given his strategy. So the Don Dotter might have played a blinder of his strategy as well. Don't forget he went for a really quick mid-stint, set a load of good 157 laps, and now he's just settling in for the consistency. I think he might have played a blinder here, the Don Dotter, but we'll see how it goes. Just over 10 minutes remain of this one as Britsberger comes into the pits. So does Cool Rides. Obi-Wan Kenobi stays out for the time being. The Don Dotter is going to assume 2nd place as we see Britsberger's pit crew and Cool Rides' pits crew work on getting motion lotion back into those Caymans. The Don Dotter's down into T1 already as Britsberger emerges from the pits, just ahead of Cool Rides, and behind them Carrington. So they've all pitted now as Carrington rounds the final corner. So yeah, this looks like, unless they have massive accidents up ahead, unless they have massive accidents up ahead, Carrington's going to have to push really hard to get himself up any further than 5th. 18.4 seconds behind now as we see Simo come into the pits, and that's going to promote Sean F and Ghost Run Gaming. Ghost Run Gaming, who will have the CRT driver ahead in his sights for the closing stage of the race, but at the same point he won't want to absolutely mull of his tyres. Sean F's on the stickiest compounded tyres, the super softs, but they will degrade the fastest out of all of them. So he will have problems with grip in these last 10 minutes. That could put him under threat from the drivers behind. Simo's going to be coming through on fresh rubber. Rick to continue. Has just pitted on his first outlap now. 11th place for Rick, chasing down Simo. Obi-Wan Kenobi, our leader, is in the pit lane. Can he emerge ahead of the Don Dotter? The gap was 24 seconds as Obi-Wan Kenobi came into the pits. The Don Dotter's seen him pit. He will see he's quite low on fuel as well. Nice and patient through the last corner of the Don Dotter. He doesn't want to cause himself any accidents. Kenobi is out of the pit lane already. Only needed to take on about half a tank of fuel. And the gap between these drivers now, as we enter the last phase of the race, 7 seconds between these guys. So behind them, a further 9 seconds behind the Don Dotter holds a Britsberger. We've got Cool Rides chasing him down for the final podium position. Carrington finds himself 20 seconds behind that battle, with Pilgrim Paddy 5 seconds behind him. Pilgrim Paddy and Cutler having a little bit of a battle now. So honours for 6th. Sean after, just goes a little bit deep there. That's kind of like Ghost on Gaming through. So unfortunately we just caught Sean after make a little bit of a mistake. Both of these drivers coming into the pits now, presumably for tyres. So this should be a nice quick stop for Sean. Yeah, it looks like both drivers only really need to take on tyres, so we should see them back out in the pit lane very soon. Right on board with Cutler as he chases down Pilgrim Paddy for 6. We can see Carrington up ahead. If these guys work together, he is probably catchable. Cutler really smooth on his inputs. That does help save the tyres. While he's behind another car, he'll just lift and coast a little bit before he has to brake. Nice and measured racing from these guys so far. Cool Rides and Britsburg is still not having that battle with waiting for that to kick off. Carrington is losing time to the top 4 now. As my stream goes funny again. Stafford, what's his is he just watching this delta come down between him and 6th place now? Because they're catching him. They are catching him. But the good news for Johnny is the guys behind him look like they're going to start fighting any minute now. So Cutler and Pilgrim Paddy are going to be having a little battle very soon. And the longer that goes on, the more it helps Carrington out. So you see Carrington at the forefront of your picture there. You don't know you're out of the way. Don't blame you. Do not blame you. Get yourself a G&T. So after their pit stop escapades, Ghost on Gaming comes out in 8th. Sean have 2.4 seconds behind him in 9th. He's got a good gap to Simo though, Sean, so he doesn't have to worry about an assault from behind. Watching it through me, fair enough. Is he just sat in the living room shouting at the TV then? But you put my viewer count up, so you know I've got to love that. So Pilgrim Paddy's just set his fastest lap of the race at 59.5. Cutler also running in the mid 59s, so both the guys behind in 6th and 7th are doing really well pace wise. Carrington's got trouble on his hands now. His tyres are starting to look a little bit worse for wear. Can't say the cliche. Thanks for dropping on in, mate. I enjoyed watching your snow runner escapades earlier on. Kids are in bed, that's all. Bless. Yeah, I'm surprised my kid hasn't. She tends to know when I'm streaming and will run in 9 times out of 10. Ghost Rider, keep it together. Johnny is being caught at an epic rate now. They've took another 8 attempts out of him. Let's just ride on board with Pilgrim Paddy. Pilgrim Paddy is coming under a lot of pressure from Cutler, but at the same time managing to chase down Carrington. Carrington chooses to come into the pits, potentially just for new rubber. So Carrington's gambling here that 5 minutes on fresh tyres is going to help him out. That does allow Pilgrim Paddy and Cutler through. Carrington, you see there in 7th, just emerging from the pit lane. So he's now on the softest compounder tyre you can get, the stickiest, the grippiest, and he's got a 6-second deficit to make up to the cars ahead. He really needs to start lapping it in now. Cutler and Pilgrim Paddy's tyres definitely have seen better days. Cutler's going to need to think about his fuel as well. So Carrington might have... He's rolled the dice, definitely. Let's just say he's rolled the dice on this one. Pedal to metal. He's certainly now going to be hammering it down because he's got a lot of time to make up. He's already, well, put it this way, in the first sector he's chonked 8 attempts out of them. So he's on it. check in with our leader, Obi-Wan Kenobi. 4 minutes to go in this race now, probably just another couple of laps, 2 laps to go I'm guessing. He leads the Dondotter by nearly 9 seconds, the Dondotter by 10 seconds leads Britsberger, so the podium is mostly confirmed. Britsberger does have a Coolwise to worry about. Coolwise is just 2 seconds behind him and he's remaining nice and consistent and on the same sort of pace. Pilgrim Paddy, brilliant drive from Pilgrim Paddy so far. He's kept Cutler at bay for an eternity now. These two have been fighting like cat and dog the entire race. Sorry, not the entire stint, I meant. Cutler is chasing down the P1 driver ahead. But so far Pilgrim Paddy is proving he's a match for Cutler's antics, as Cutler just tries to fill his mirrors up. So Pilgrim Paddy just sticks to his line. Cutler gets a great slingshot at that final corner. Looks like he's going to be able to make a move down into C1. He is pretty much going to be, yeah, he's going to be officially ahead by the time the corner starts. Can Pilgrim Paddy get the cut back on him? By having the wider preferred line, goes really late on the brakes as Pilgrim Paddy, and unfortunately just makes a little bit of a mistake. That is the commentator's curse there, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise unreservedly, Pilgrim Paddy. But for you CRT boys and girls watching, this means Carrington is up to 6th with a 2.6 second gap to Cutler up ahead. And Cutler now will be checking his review mirrors furiously. Can see Carrington up ahead. We've got another 2 laps, well this lap definitely, and another lap to go. So he's got 2 seconds to make up in a 1 and a bit laps. Last lap pace for you, 2:01.0 for Cutler, and for Carrington he lapped a 1:56.6. So yeah, Carrington went nearly 4 seconds quicker that lap. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Carrington's on his personal best lap as well, 3 tenths quicker than he's gone ever so far in this race. He's really chasing him down. He's only a second behind him now. This is, I was going to cut away for a minute and come back to this, but he's absolutely just chonked time out of him. He's took a second out of him in that sector alone, and another couple of attempts on that corner. He's now firmly in the slipstream of Cutler and looks to be. Look at the closing rate. Cutler's having to save fuel like a madman. Carrington's got him before the lap's out. Cutler's having to really fuel save now. And Carrington, who just played, he really rolled the dice by pitting a couple of laps ago, knowing he was getting caught by Cutler and Pilgrim Paddy on old tyres. Just thought, I'm just going to come in, stick some really fresh tyres on, and I'm just going to go like hell, and he's done it. So Carrington's up to 5th then. We know Cutler behind. We think Cutler's having to employ some fuel saving tactics behind. Maybe at risk from Pilgrim Paddy behind as well. Let's have a little bit of a recap of the entire field then, as Obi-Wan Kenobi comes to finish the comes towards the end of the race now. He's going to be finished in a couple of seconds. Let's just quickly chunk through, see if there's any battles going on before we focus back on the leader. There's no epic direct battles going on. So let's give Kenobi a little bit of screen time. Do apologise, Kenobi, I know you love your screen time, but you've just dominated this one and there's been a lot of action behind you. So Obi-Wan Kenobi comes through to take his 2nd win in round number 2 at Nurburgring GP. Great drive from Obi-Wan Kenobi, dominated this one completely. Great strategy and great delivery. The Dondotter finally finishes a race. A good representation for the Dondotter today, 2nd overall. A really strong performance from the Irishman. Britsberger held off Coolwise throughout the entire race and comes across to take the final step on the podium. Coolwise is going to finish us in 4th. Carrington, after an inspired drive right at the end there, 5th place for Carrington. He had an off earlier on in the race. He probably will be thinking, what if he could have been involved in that top flight had he have not had that that little off earlier on. But a 5th place finish for Carrington. So Steffers will be happy. There'll be champagne drunk in the Carrington household tonight. Cutlet, strategic, managed it at the end, but Pilgrim Paddy, with Cutler having a penalty, just pips him to 6th place. Ghost Run Gaming, probably a night to forget for Bailey. We know his capabilities. He will be disappointed with this result, no doubt. 8 for him. Sean F, another heavily supported driver, going to come through to finish in 9th place, weaving all the way. So Sean F's going to bring it home in 9th, with Simo just behind him in 10th place. Rick to continue after no practice. A little bit of a torrid race for Rick. Rick, definitely one of the personalities of the group. 11th place for him, with Scrabs in 12th. Cheers, Cliche. Thank you Steffers as well. Don't forget, if you're following this and you've not followed, please do just that. As Can't Shake the Cliche is just done. Thank you for doing that. Cheers, Damo. Yeah, no, it was a great race from them. Great driving CRT boys from Ghost Rider. Yeah, I fully agree. Sometimes you've got to roll the dice and hope it works, and it did just then. So on my controller works. On your screen there is final confirmation of the results from round number 2. While I'm whittling my way through that, I will just find out where round number 3 takes us. Of course, it would be fitting only to mention right at the end, just again, we take this race in honour of John Mcgee. Our thoughts and everything are all with his family and friends, who will of course be feeling his loss right now. So we're thinking of you guys, and if there's anything that we as a collective can do for you, you only need to shout up, and I'm sure that will happen. Next race, ladies and gents, join us on the 5th of July for a race at Dragon Trail Seaside. So that's a fictional circuit, the first fictional circuit and the only one we go to in the calendar, but it's always good racing at Dragon Trail. Lots of opportunities for these Porsches to make mistakes, so definitely come and check that one out. That's going to be live 5th of July, 9 o'clock UK time. You're welcome, Ghost Rider, not a problem at all. So yeah, that's it for the stream. So I'll be ending the stream very shortly. You can watch a replay of this, it stays up on Twitch, so you can rewatch it on Twitch if you'd like, but I also export it over onto YouTube as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, so you couldn't join us live, come over to Twitch to catch the live stuff, but if you want to just watch it on YouTube, absolutely fine by me, don't really mind, no problem. Cutlet. And yeah, that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do appreciate your support as always. Don't forget to tune in next week for the next Cayman Cup race, and the next time we'll be live on Twitch is probably, I might go tomorrow night. I might stream the GT3 League that I race in. We will see. Okay, thank you very much. I'll close this one down now. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.